Hello and welcome back to the TheDropOutDragon. Today we're going to be looking at the Twinblade. As you can see here, this is the build we're going to be running, and over on the right weapon we're at 353 AR, and this is on a Rob Flynn build. Not too shabby for a weapon that can hit as many times as this one does. However, a lot of people underestimate the one-handed stance, as you can kind of treat it like a longsword because it has really good tracking. It can catch people in rolls, the R2s and R1s I just showed off there. The running attack is kind of slow, which is why I always pair it off, I should say, with a faster weapon on the offhand, like a scimitar or anything that is, a curved sword, something fast that I could just immediately come out and do a running attack, because everything else is pretty slow. Now, the two-handed moveset is where this thing really gets weird. So these are really quick frames, but they're so predictable. When you two-hand, it's kind of like pulling out a buckler. People know you're going to parry. You might even parry spam. It's kind of like that. This weapon is really easy to parry, by the way, speaking of bucklers, but also it's very predictable. Now, the R2s aren't as predictable, but they do hurt a lot if you can catch people in rolls with it, so we're going to be doing that. Now, there's a lot of people who have very different opinions on what to do with a Twinblade. My opinion is it really... Playing it in kind of a reactive way is really the only way. That's why people are very partial to playing with it unlocked. They'll two-hand it and they'll run away a bit, and then they'll turn around immediately and do an R2 right in your face, which will do a lot of damage. It is a very strong tactic. I mean, playing unlocked is a strong tactic for a lot of these weapons because you can get really reactive and just base your entire play style on punishes, which is, I'm not going to blame you for it. It works. Why am I going to get mad about it? So he's looking at me. He's thinking about something. He can't be punished because he's got the trade machine and gestures. So he's just kind of thinking about what he should do. He just ran out of stamina. We know that because of how slow he was. So I'll go ahead and catch him in the running attack there. I got to be a little careful because he's just waiting for these attacks. Very skillful parries, as we can clearly see. This guy knows what he's doing, so we'll look on. But see, I don't play unlocked very often, but I do it when somebody's spamming, and I'll be like, oh, look at you, and I'll kind of keep my distance just a little bit. Now, he's trying. Bless him. And he got that parry. It's not spam if you get one, right? Right? I should have seen that one coming anyway, but it doesn't matter, because we know he is going to die. Oh, he's changed it up to a katana, because you got to try hard for all the cool kids. But I'll go ahead and get him in the rolling R1, which is going to be your main attack a lot for punishes is going to be the rolling R1, like a lot of other weapons, but this one will do actual, real damage. It'll hit them a lot. And it'll also catch them in rolls, but you're not getting, those sweet hits. And without those sweet spot hits, you're not going to do a whole lot of damage. I think I've done, 47 damage once because it just tipped them as they were rolling away and only hit them once out of that whole little twisty-twirly flag girl maneuver. That's what happens. So obviously, you don't run into builds like that and have a little bit of a harder time because your damage is nothing like theirs, because the AR of this is not that great. And that's one of the reasons that people just don't use the one-handed, because it's only going to hit them once. But it does enough damage. Now, one of the weird mechanics of this weapon, I don't know if it's just me, it just seems this way, so I shouldn't really even call it a mechanic. It seems to push people away when they get hit a little bit more than other weapons do. I don't know if that's just me, but it feels that way, that it's pushing them away. And I don't know if it's designed to do that because, oh, look at this. By the way, the backstab damage is terrible. I just like to throw that out as you were looking at it. It was like 380 something, I think. I don't know. That's pretty garbage. I'm surprised he got that hit there. But it seems to push people away, and I don't know if that's because I'm hitting them multiple times, but even the one-handed, where I'm only hitting them once, seems to push them away a little bit more than other weapons do. I could just be me, or just totally situational. I don't know if that's based on anything, but it just seems to. So we'll go ahead and get a little rolling punish right there, because he wasn't paying attention. And then with the offhand, I'll mix it up just to make him think about it, and we'll get another backstab. This guy seems to think that if you spam R1 with a giant greatsword, you'll win it, but bad news bears. That ain't gonna happen. So no fun time for you. Oh, and then we get parried again. See, it happens. It does happen. This is the weapon that just gets parried like crazy because it's so predictable. There's not a whole lot. But he's got that one parry off, and that'll change the whole game, because you're sitting here and you're using a weapon that doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and then the next thing you know, you get parried, and now you have so much catching up to do. I've been parried twice in a row, 2 different dudes. That, you know, one guy obviously who's not that experienced, and then there's this guy who's somewhat experienced, and they're trying to get me, but I ain't having it. We'll just go ahead and play reactive and get him. So that's the second victory in a row that you got to pull it out of your ass after you get parried, because you're not doing the damage. So right there, I so predictably parried right to his face. I don't know, maybe he wouldn't have got me if I did the R1, but I went for an R2 because I figured he'd roll, and instead he just said, no, L2, GG, and that's what happens. Get parried twice. You know, and you have to think about it, because that damage, the damage comparison between you and your opponent is going to be garbage. It's gonna be shit. You're gonna be like, oh, okay. So that's the way it is. It seems like the quote top tier players, they don't parry all that much, but like low guys do. So you just never see it coming, and you never think they're gonna actually get you, but it happens. But twice in a row in one video, I've been parried, and still managed to bring it back, only because I played a little bit smarter than they were. But it also just shows you how easy it is to parry this weapon. You could even hit them. You know, you do the two-handed, and you can hit them like a lance will do the same thing. So it'll damage them, and they'll actually stagger. But because they put those parry frames out there, you're in a bad way. He's going to poise through everything I've got, which is another problem. And he's like, okay. So we've got this going on. This guy knows how the blades work, huh? We'll go ahead and catch him in that roll real quick. That's a really easy thing to do, is pull that R2 out, and you can catch people in rolls. So I'm going to make him come to me, and I'll pull my garbage, and we'll go ahead and just trade, and I'll win. So at least we didn't get parried, right? He had a buffed Twinblade thing, because he had the Santiers, and I was still able to pull that out because I'm doing the Rob Flynn. So if I decided to buff this Twinblade, it would be a lot better. I'm sure it would be a lot better. But, you know, I'm not a big fan of buffing anymore, just because, number one, it's one extra step for me to care about, and it goes away. Number two, it's a lot of people are frowning on it, like the top tier people, and instead of just listening to it all day, I just don't do it anymore. I'm like, okay, all right, okay, I will stop being a scrub lord piece of shit, and I will play the game like other people want me to. Which I encourage you guys not to do. Play the game how you want to play it. I mean, even when it comes to metas and whatnot, what levels, play the game how you want to play it. I don't buff anymore just because it's an extra challenge to me and peer pressure, and also it is actually just one extra step that goes away. And some of these fights are lasting longer and longer as players are getting better at the game. A buff really doesn't mean as much as it used to, because of how much time we're spending in a fight. And my buff might just disappear like halfway through it. Now what? Then what do you do? See, now I hit him and he hit me, and my hit was a lot more delayed than his hit. And you know, that you could call that latency, but that's just because I have lingering hit frames. My boxes they're lingering. They're different. We got another straight sword, or sorry, another great sword user. He's just looking at me. He wants to pull off those sweet styles. It's just like, yeah. So right there, if he was a little bit closer, I would have been able to do that. Oh, I thought I'd roll that. I did not. He's going for it. Yeah. They always go for that second R2. I don't recommend doing that with a great sword. If somebody's rolling around you and they didn't get hit the first time, chances are they're about to backstab you. They're going to roll backstab right in your face. So you got to be a little careful. Just the tiniest bit careful when you're using a big weapon like that, because if you go for 2, you're getting backstabbed. And if you're somebody like me who's probably running like the Boneville, like that's 1,300 damage. That's 1,300 damage in your face. I just backstabbed you because you pressed an extra button, and now you're gonna die, because the hitbox just doesn't swing around like you think it does. This is going to be a relatively short video. I'm not going to go into super detail about this weapon, because there's really nothing more to say than be a reactive bitch and you can do well. You could say that about every single weapon in the game, which I guess I could make a 10-second video, and that would be it. That would be the ultimate PvP guide. Be a reactive bitch and you will win. You will win the game. Someone else wants to teach me about the Twinblade. I had a Twinblade fight with somebody else earlier, and they were the victor, actually. And but that video I ended up fighting 2 people in a row that DC'd on me, so I had to stop. That's so fun. So after that, and I'll just go ahead and catch him. He's probably getting really angry about this because he's thinking he just walk up in my face and have himself a good fight. But I'm not letting him because I know a little bit about Twinblade. Yeah, you can trade with me. I'll take it. I got the health. Oh, you want to trade again? Yeah, I'll go ahead with that second R2 and get you. Just trap you into it. Here, let's do jousting. You want to joust? Oh, and then I'll just turn around. Now, that's another thing I should talk about is the tracking of this weapon. Tracking of this weapon is really good. That's another reason why you should treat the one-handing like a straight sword. I might have already said that, but either way, I'm saying it again because this is one of the best tracking weapons in the game. Like I can turn around right in your face, unlocked or locked, just turn around. You can just do that, which is pretty great. So now that we've talked about the weapons, or weapon here, and why I've said what I said, there's nothing more you want to get into it. If you want to have fun times and invade and shit like that, then maybe you want to like infuse it with poison or something and just watch the guy squirm. Yeah, that's something you could do. That's fun. I think a lance is better for poisoning people, but a lot of people, swear by bleeding and poison Twinblades. I've never done that effectively. It just takes too long. When it comes to the Twinblade, a lot of the stuff you're going to be doing is baiting, and really, if somebody has been hit a bunch of times with a Twinblade and they're about to get poisoned, they just run away because they know you have no option for it. Any experienced player is going to say, oh, I have a Twinblade and they're running away from me. I'm literally fucked. There's nothing I can do about it. The guy's running away. If he's running away, I have nothing. That's one of the reasons I use the curved sword with this, just so I have a chase option. Because if they decide to just backpedal on me like the entire time, I got nothing. I have no way of stopping the pain. I got nothing. So I'll go ahead and just like bait him for that R2. You can see it does a lot of damage right there. Dude, he's going for it, man. He's going for those R1s, and he should. He's got so many of those mix-ups, but there's really no reason for him to have them. I'm gonna be fair. This is the type of fancy that is just useless. I mean, he's got his pivot. It's gonna happen, but I mean, like he's been backstabbed. What? We've had 2 fights already. This is our 3rd fight in this one video. I've backstabbed him constantly. Just because he was playing so fancy and using up all his stamina for one attack that I end up dodging just because I'm looking at him in a funny way. And that's just the way it is. But he finally got me. So, I mean, it's just, he's got so many moments where he could have just been punished. If I'm sitting there, I'm rocking a Twinblade here. If I'm using a straight sword, that guy would have had nothing. I mean, he would have had no answer to that. Because I just would have spammed on him. I would have spammed on him and just gone crazy on his ass while he's sitting there rolling across the floor 80 different times, backstepping, trying to get a pivot or whatever. Like really and truly, like the main benefit of that fight for him is the fact that I'm using a piece of shit weapon with an offhand that's also a piece of shit. So that's what's gonna happen. If I had come in there all super try-hard, he would have had no answer, and he would have been fancy for, like, no reason. And I just wanted to... I'm looking at him, too, like, half the fight, thinking, oh, I wonder how this is going to turn out. How's a million times he's going to do this? I don't know. Overly fancy play that means nothing just kind of bothers me. Because it took him, what? That took him 2 fights to get to that point, to finally get one, to get his hit. And then we're going to have a 4th one here. I don't know. Overly fancy play just bothers me. Because why did you waste all that stamina? You could have just been a lot smarter and not worried about it. So let's not here. Let's do it here. Let me show you guys something. So he's gonna do his thing, waste all his stamina, get hit right there, right? And now I'm gonna do this. Now I'm just gonna hit him. I'm just gonna look at him, just hit him right when he gets close. Like where's all the fanciness? Oh, you're getting hit, dude. You had all those fancy moves. What's going on? It's almost like you were fancy for no reason. Now what? Now what? You know what I mean? Like, that's all this moving around, fluid. He's not thinking. He's just moving in a funny way. And he'll get a pivot because I'm too late to press fucking L1. But, like, all this fancy crap. And look how many times he got hit for it. Look how many... Look at that. I mean, he's just, like, looking at me like, oh, hey. All this movement means, like, fucking nothing. And I'm just looking at him. And still getting hits. And GG. Victory. He's got a strength weapon that's buffed, and he gets his one backstab and only needs one more hit after that. But I hit him like fucking 11 times. That's it. Just doesn't make sense. Why are you gonna waste so much fucking stamina doing what you're doing just to get one pivot that I practically fucking gave to you? It just, oh man, let me tell you. Anyway, so that's my opinion on that. So I don't even know why it said victory. That was totally a double kill, but oh well. Either way, so I'll go ahead and give you guys like a channel update. So my internet has finally kind of evened out to where it's usable. I've been streaming a lot. I know I said I was going to focus on YouTube. That's still kind of true. I'm kind of waiting on the Dark Souls 3 to pop around to start really doing things with it. I might do exactly what I did with Dark Souls 2 and kind of wait on streaming. I wasn't a streamer yet, but even when I knew about it, I kind of held off because I figured, you know, everybody's streaming this game. Nobody wants to be, you know, spoiled. Only the really, really big people anyone's going to give a shit about. That's the way it's kind of always been with new games. You know, a lot of people are going to be trying Dark Souls 3. There's going to be a lot of new people in it. And I don't know. It feels to me like just making YouTubes about the weapons or, you know, certain items in Dark Souls 3 seems to be the way to go for me, you know, as a content creator. So that might happen, but I doubt I'm going to be streaming or you know, showing off a bunch of stuff like as the game came out. I want to enjoy it too, guys. That's you have to remember that too. I want to enjoy it. I am also a player. I am also a fan of the Souls series. So I need to enjoy my time on it. So that's what's going to happen. But even so you guys are aware that one of the reasons that I just kind of like took a break from streaming is because of the internet and how bad the internet was. And then I was like, oh, I'm just gonna, sorry, this guy's doing some really weird shit, so I'm like focused on it. The whole point was I couldn't actually stream, so I was gonna focus on YouTube, but it turned out my internet was actually so bad, all my fights were really laggy and not fun, and so we had to deal with that. Let's go ahead and hit him. He made a mistake backing up and not thinking that I was just gonna hit a button as soon as I get hit. That's what happens. So, either way, that's basically what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make these videos like, you know, as sparingly as I can. I don't want to get burned out on all this crap, you know, on Souls period before Dark Souls 3 comes out. I'm trying to stream because that is my main source of income is streaming. I want to do that. So that's a really big deal for me to stream more than I do YouTube. YouTube doesn't give a whole lot back. I'm also kind of pissed at YouTube. I've noticed a lot of creators are just getting their videos taken down without even, you know, doing anything. It just kind of happens because they're automated systems. And I'd hate to put effort into something just to have like my channel disappear for no goddamn reason, which seems to be a trend nowadays. I mean, I could be blowing that out of proportion, but there are some people that are having some issues. Big people too. And the only reason those people get their channels back is because of how big they are. So, and I'm not that big. I'm not that big at all. And in fact, big is not even a word I should be using. So when you get down to that and you realize, oh, you know, I have no one to turn to if YouTube decides to fuck me over. What am I supposed to do? I just have to take it. So YouTube for me is not something I want to pursue super much. I don't know. I'm back and forth on that issue all the time. I know. But, you know, like I said, streaming, Twitch has been good to me. And streaming is something I know how to do. Oh, nice quick roll. Nice quick roll. Nice. That was a good quick roll. Yeah, I had a feeling of parry right there. But see right there, I get that catch. Right there, that catch happens. Right there. That's the way you should treat this weapon. Because you could just catch people rolling away from you with it like all the time. GG. Oh, man. That's a pretty good fight to that guy. Those are pretty... A lot better than the dude with that great sword. I just kind of got triggered by that. I apologize. Like I know it sounded like I was salty, but at the same time, I'm just like, really, you make this so complicated, and it doesn't have to be that complicated. Because in the end of the day, out of 4 fights, I won twice, and then we got a double kill, and then you beat me. Like that was the end goal of all of that effort. How many buttons were you just smashing to get those couple of pivots? One of which I just gave to you. I mean that's At the end of the day, that style of play has really turned me off to this game. And in all truthfulness, like, it just wastes so much time. Just fight me. Just fight me. Don't run 15 fucking yards the other way, turn around, spin, run around, spin some more, look at me, throw out one bad running attack, get pissed, now you have no stamina, turn around, do a bunch of other fucking rolls and quick rolls and shit, even though you're not doing anything, just look as weirdly as you fucking possibly can. Nah, I'm not into that. I ain't about it. I ain't about that. And it's been a big turnoff to this game for me, as a lot of people are picking up that play style, even regular people. It used to be content creators and streamers like only, but no, normal people want to do this. This is going this. Look at this, and then running. Let's do it running. I'm out of stamina. What do I do? a lot of people want to pull that off. You know, I honestly do it on this guy if he wasn't a caster, but he's a caster, so I have to be a little bit careful. Now, this is bad for casters. Twinblade is the worst for casters because a lot of them are going to back up a lot, and chasing is like the major problem with, you know, the Twinblades. Hence, I have a curved sword. Now he thinks he's going to parry on me. Oh, nice. Nice parry. And I'm going to go ahead and get screwed by a little bit of lag. He's moving around kind of funny, but I'll catch him in a roll either way. Oh, I'm surprised that didn't just hit me with the way you're surfing everywhere. Oh, did you just? You did. He just tried to parry. And he got pooped on for it. Oh, what's happening? I'll let him do that because I'll just hit him, I guess. I don't know. Laggy fights are laggy. It happens. It happens. Oh well. Oh boy. I'm surprised I didn't just like die. I was really hoping that you guys could see if he had just cast like half of a, you know, crystal greatsword or whatever it's called, soul greatsword. Oh boy. Well, that's about it. That's all I'm willing to put into this. So this particular video of the Twinblade, I've stopped talking about it and just started ranting. That's what happens to me. So yep, that's about it. There's nothing more I could say about this particular thing. Like, you know, we'll summarize it. Just use it more often one-handed, and you know, don't underestimate that. It's got a good moveset. It can catch people. The rolling R1s are good. The R2s are good. It's a decent weapon. Is it top tier? Hell no. Is it stuff that people, if you were running into a tournament, you would use? No way. You'd never do that. But it's a good all-around fun weapon. I recommend using it on the bridge. I tried recording the first part of this on the bridge, but it just ended up being a bunch of people who were just really laggy. So I was like, okay, no bridge time, which is really bad when they're all buffed and shit. So, but yeah, that's it. That's all I got to say. Have fun with this weapon. Try different things. The straight sword is not the only weapon in the game. Neither are katanas. You can have fun. Do that. If you guys want to, you could check me out on Twitch. That's what I primarily do. So if you really want my content, that's where I'm at. There'll be a link in the description. And that's about it. So you guys have a good one. The Dropout Dragon is dropping out.